My name is Beatrice B. Malone. I'm 82 years old, and 3 months ago I came home from open heart surgery to discover my own grandson had sold the house I was born in while I was still hooked up to machines. The house is a 1,908 Victorian on Magnolia Avenue in Richmond, Virginia, pale yellow with white gingerbread trim, wraparound porch, and the same magnolia tree Granddaddy planted the year the Titanic sank. 6 bedrooms, 3 baths, original pine floors, and a kitchen big enough to feed half the church on Sunday. Worth, according to the county, $1.38 million on a slow day. I raised 4 children in that house, buried my husband Henry there in '98, taught every grandchild how to roll biscuits on that same marble counter. My oldest grandson, Brandon Malone Jr., 36, real estate license, shiny white smile, calls everybody buddy, had power of attorney while I was in the hospital. I gave it to him because I trusted family. Silly me. The day I was discharged, the nurse wheeled me up the front walk, and there was a brand new for sale sign in my yard and a lockbox on my door. Brandon met me on the porch like he was doing me a favor. "Grandma, you're home. The doctors said you can't live alone anymore, so I took care of everything. We close next Friday. You'll love the assisted living place in Short Pump, top floor, Riverview." I looked past him at my own front door and saw a stranger's Pottery Barn furniture through the window. My heart, the one they'd just cracked open and sewn back together, felt like it stopped again. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just asked one question: how much? Brandon grinned like he'd won the lottery. "Sold it for $1.62 million cash. Market's hot, buddy. You're set for life." I smiled the smile I used to give Henry when he came home smelling like bourbon and another woman's perfume. "That's good, sugar," I said, "because I'm about to buy it back." He laughed, thinking I was joking. I wasn't. That night, from my hospital bed at home because I refused to go anywhere else, I called my attorney, Miss Letitia Beaumont, 4th-generation Richmond lawyer, sharp as a switchblade wrapped in silk, and said, "Letitia, I want my house back, whatever it takes, cash." Letitia didn't ask why. She just said, "Consider it done, Miss B." 3 days later, the buyers, a nice young couple from California with a baby on the way, got a phone call from their agent. Change of plans. The seller's grandmother is exercising her right of first refusal. Full cash offer, $1.8 million, closing tomorrow. No inspection, no contingencies. They took it, who wouldn't? Brandon found out when the title company called him to return his commission. He showed up at the hospital the next morning, red-faced and yelling, "You can't do this. The contract is signed." I handed him a cup of coffee like nothing was wrong. "Brandon, honey, you sold property that wasn't yours to sell. My name is the only one on the deed. Always has been. Your power of attorney ended the minute I was discharged. Check page 7. He read it. His face went from red to white to green. Letitia walked in right on cue with the new deed in her hand. "Morning, Brandon. Closing's at 2. You're welcome to attend." He stormed out without his coffee. That was only the beginning. I had bigger plans for Magnolia Avenue. I bought the house back for $1.8 million cash on a Tuesday in late September. The California couple cried happy tears when they got the extra $180,000. They used it for their baby's college fund. Brandon got nothing except a certified letter from Letitia, returning his earnest money check with the memo line, "Educational expenses." The day I moved back in, Brandon was waiting on the porch with his mother, my daughter-in-law Diane, and a moving truck full of the new furniture he'd already bought for when the house sold. Diane started in before I even got out of the no-mun car. "Mother Malone, this is insane. You're 82. You just had open-heart surgery. You cannot live here alone." I smiled and handed her the key I just had made. "Diane, sugar, I'm not going to live here alone. I'm gonna live here with about 15 other women who need a safe place more than I need peace and quiet." She blinked. "What?" I walked past them up the steps, unlocked my own front door for the first time in months, and turned around. Brandon sold this house while I was fighting for my life. He thought family loyalty was worth less than a commission check. So I decided to show him what this house is really worth. That afternoon I called Pastor Jenkins from Trinity Baptist and Sister Mary Margaret from Street Catherine's, both women I've known since they were in pigtails, and said, I need your help filling 6 bedrooms with single mothers and their children who have nowhere else to go. Rent-free, utilities paid, as long as they need. By Friday we had our first residents. Latoya and her 3 little boys evicted when her hours were cut. Maria and newborn Sophia left by a boyfriend who wasn't ready. Keisha, pregnant at 16, kicked out by her mama. Brandon showed up Saturday morning with a cease and desist letter from some lawyer he'd hired on contingency. I met him on the porch holding Sophia while Latoya's boys ran circles around the magnolia tree. Brandon, honey, read the deed. It's my house. I can fill it with whoever I want. And right now I want it filled with women who've been told they don't matter. He started yelling about property values and HOA violations. There's no HOA on Magnolia Avenue, never has been. Little Jamal, age 5, walked up and handed Brandon one of his dinosaur toys. You can play too, mister, but you gotta be nice. Brandon looked like he'd been slapped with a Bible. He left without another word. That night I sat on the porch swing with 6 new grandbabies climbing all over me while their mamas drank sweet tea and cried happy tears. Phase 2 was about to begin. Word travels faster than gossip in a beauty parlor, and by Monday morning all of Richmond knew Miss B. Malone had turned her historic mansion into a shelter for single mothers. The local news showed up first, Channel 12, then Channel 6, then the NBC affiliate from DC. They wanted pictures of the crazy old lady who bought her own house back just to give it away. I gave them better. I opened the doors wide, invited the cameras in, and let Latoya, Maria, and Keisha tell their own stories, while the babies played on the same Persian rug where Brandon learned to walk. The headline that night, Richmond grandmother turns $1, 8M mansion into safe haven for single mothers. After grandson tried to sell it out from under her, Brandon's real estate website crashed from traffic. His phone started ringing, but not with congratulations. His broker called Tuesday morning and put him on indefinite suspension, pending review of ethical conduct. His biggest client, a developer who wanted the whole block, canceled 3 listings in one email. By Wednesday, the Virginia Real Estate Board announced an investigation. Brandon showed up at the house again Thursday, this time with Diane crying beside him and his 2 perfect little daughters, ages 8 and 10, in matching smocked dresses. Diane tried the guilt trip. Mother Malone, think of your great-granddaughters. How will they explain to their friends that Grandma lives with these people? I looked at my perfectly behaved great-granddaughters and then at Jamal, who was sharing his goldfish crackers with Maria's baby Sophia. I think they'll explain it just fine, I said. They'll say Grandma chose love over money. Hard lesson, but a good one. Brandon tried to get past me into the house. I blocked the door with my walker, the pink one with the tennis balls on the feet. Brandon Malone Jr., you lost the right to cross this threshold the day you put a lockbox on it while I was on a ventilator. Now get. The Channel 12 truck was parked across the street. They got the whole thing on film. That clip went viral by Friday. Grandson versus grandma. The viral porch standoff. The comments were brutal. Brandon's business dried up overnight. His pretty website went dark. His white BMW got repossessed in the Kroger parking lot. But I wasn't done. I had one more surprise for him. By the end of October, the house on Magnolia Avenue was bursting at the seams in the best possible way. We had 12 mothers and 17 children living, laughing, and healing under my roof. The parlor became a nursery. The dining room turned into a study hall. The old carriage house got converted into a teen mom suite for Keisha and 2 other girls from the high school. I formed the Magnolia House Foundation, non-profit, tax-exempt, fully funded by the remaining liquid assets from Henry's estate, about $4.2 million after buying the house back. The mission statement was simple: no woman or child turned away, ever. Brandon's downfall became our fundraising superpower. Every news outlet from Richmond to Raleigh wanted the grandma versus greedy grandson angle. I gave them the mothers instead. LaToya went on Good Morning America and told Diane Sawyer how Magnolia House gave her boys a backyard for the first time in their lives. Maria's baby Sophia became the poster child for the foundation's Christmas card. Donations poured in, $5, $50, $50,000. A local law firm offered free legal help for custody cases. A grocery chain started delivering food every Monday. Brandon tried one last desperate move in November. He filed a lawsuit claiming tortious interference with inheritance expectancy and emotional distress. He wanted the house declared a nuisance and me declared incompetent. Letitia laughed so hard she had to sit down. The hearing was set for the first week of December in Richmond Circuit Court. Brandon showed up in a cheap suit, hair uncombed, looking like he hadn't slept in weeks. His lawyer, some kid fresh out of law school, read a prepared statement about family rights and elder abuse. Then Letitia called her first witness, me. I rolled in with my walker, wearing my Sunday best, and the pearl brooch Henry gave me on our 50th anniversary. The judge, the Honorable Clarissa Jones, who once babysat Brandon when he was 6, asked me to tell the court what happened. I told the truth, slow and clear. I told about waking up from surgery to find my house sold. I told about the mothers sleeping in cars before they came to Magnolia Avenue. I told about watching little Jamal learn to read on the same porch where Brandon learned to ride a bike. Then I looked straight at Brandon. I loved you with my whole heart, sugar. You taught me that love sometimes has to be tougher than blood. The courtroom was silent. Letitia rested. Brandon's lawyer tried to cross-examine me. He lasted 4 questions before Judge Jones shut him down. Son, I've known Miss B since you were in diapers. Save your breath. Case dismissed with prejudice. Brandon ordered to pay court costs and the foundation's legal fees. As we left the courthouse, reporters swarmed. One asked Brandon for comment. He had none. But I did. I smiled for the cameras and said, Magnolia House is now officially a permanent charitable trust. No one can ever sell it again. Brandon tried to take a home from his grandmother. He ended up giving homes to dozens of women who needed them more. Then I went home to 17 children waiting to show me their Christmas lists. December arrived like a blessing, wrapped in cold air and colored lights. Magnolia House was ready for its first real Christmas. We strung lights on every porch column, put a 12-foot Fraser fir in the front parlor, and let the children decorate it with popcorn strings and paper snowflakes. The local high school choir came to sing carols on the steps. The fire department brought Santa on the ladder truck. Jamal still talks about it. Brandon's name stopped appearing in polite conversation. His wife Diane filed for separation the week after the trial. His daughters asked if they could come volunteer at Magnolia House to make up for Daddy. I told them the door is always open to anyone who wants to help. No apology required. On December 23, the Richmond Times-Dispatch ran a full-page story, From Greed to Grace, how one grandmother turned a grandson's betrayal into Virginia's most beloved shelter. The photo spread showed LaToya reading to her boys under the magnolia tree, Maria rocking Sophia in the same rocker where I once rocked Brandon, and me 82, post-open heart, grinning like a girl, surrounded by 17 children hanging ornaments. The article ended with my quote, Brandon thought this house was worth money. I showed him it's worth lives. That night we had a party just for the residents. No press, no donors, just us. We ate ham and collards and 7 kinds of pie. Keisha, now 8 months pregnant, played Christmas carols on the old upright piano while the babies danced. After the little ones went to bed, the mamas and I sat in the parlor with Coco and talked about the future. LaToya was starting nursing school in January, full scholarship from the foundation. Maria got her GED and was applying for citizenship. Keisha decided to keep her baby and name her Beatrice. I looked around at those tired, brave, beautiful women and felt richer than I ever had with Henry's millions in the bank. The next morning, Christmas Eve, a plain white envelope slid under the front door. No return address. Richmond postmark. Inside was a single sheet of paper in Brandon's handwriting. Grandma, I was wrong. I hate what I became. I'm leaving Virginia. I don't know where I'm going yet. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. I hope one day you can forgive me. Brandon, there was also a cashier's check for $48,000. Every penny he had left after lawyer fees and the repossessed BMW. I stared at it for a long time. Then I endorsed it over to the Magnolia House Foundation with the memo line, "For the children who will never have to sleep in a car again. From a boy who finally learned the price of a home. Forgiven." B. Christmas morning we opened presents under the tree. Every mama got a key on a red ribbon symbol of permanent residency. No rent, no expiration. And every child got a stocking with their name stitched by my own arthritic hands. Brandon never came back to Richmond, but every year on Christmas Eve, an anonymous donation of exactly $48,000 arrives at Magnolia House with no note. I know who it's from, and every year I smile, hang one extra stocking on the mantle, and whisper to the empty air, "Merry Christmas, sugar." There's always room for one more. 5 years have passed since that first Christmas at Magnolia House. I'm 87 now, still living in the same yellow Victorian on Magnolia Avenue, but I'm the only resident over 25 who doesn't call me Miss B or Grandma B. We're up to 22 mothers and 31 children. The carriage house is now a licensed daycare. The old garage became a job training center where the mamas learn everything from CNA certification to how to start their own businesses. The foundation owns 3 more houses on the block, bought with donations that never stopped coming after Brandon's story went national. We call the whole street Magnolia Village. Latoya graduated nursing school and now runs our free clinic. Maria became a U.S. citizen last year and opened a bakery in the old pantry. Her empanadas sell out before noon. Keisha's little Beatrice started kindergarten this fall wearing the same smocked dress Brandon's daughters once wore. I still bake biscuits every Sunday morning, still rock on the same porch swing, still watch the magnolia tree bloom every spring like it's been doing since 1912. Brandon never came back to Virginia, but every Christmas Eve, like clockwork, a plain white envelope appears under the door with $48,000 inside and no return address. I cash it, add my own matching gift, and buy new beds for whatever new mama just walked through our door with nothing but a baby and a prayer. Last year, the Richmond Times-Dispatch did a follow-up story for the 5-year anniversary. The headline read, "From Betrayal to Blessing. The house that greed couldn't sell becomes home to hundreds." They interviewed Latoya, Maria, Keisha, and a dozen other women who've come through our doors. The last page was a full-color photo of me on the porch swing surrounded by 31 children wearing paper crowns from Christmas cracker hats. Underneath the caption, "Beatrice B. Malone, 87, founder of Magnolia Village, proof that one grandmother's love can be bigger than any betrayal." I keep that article framed in the front hall right beside the brass plaque we installed the day the city declared Magnolia Avenue a historic district, Magnolia House Est. 1908 reborn 2020, no mother or child ever turned away. In memory of every woman who was told her worth could be measured in money. Some nights I sit on the porch after the children are asleep and listen to the house breathe 31 little heartbeats, 22 strong women rebuilding their lives. One old lady who finally learned what family really means. Brandon taught me a hard lesson. I taught him a harder one. And every time a new mama walks up those steps with a baby on her hip and fear in her eyes, I open the door and say the same thing. "Welcome home, sugar. You're safe now." This house was bought with love, paid for with justice, and it will never be for sale again. If you're ever in Richmond on a Sunday morning, come by Magnolia Avenue. The coffee's hot, the biscuits are fresh, and there's always room for one more at the table. Because some houses aren't meant to be sold, they're meant to be saved.